Okay, go.
Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here with
Ray Mitchell.
Ray Mitchell, and I want to thank you for taking the time to sit and speak with me today about, staying actively engaged in the community as you get older. And so if you wouldn't mind just telling the people a little bit about yourself and how long you've been affiliated with Senior Citizens Council, maybe a little bit of your history, how you came to be here, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Raymond Mitchell, 83 years of age. I've been with the Senior Council 16 years,
Wow.
plus a bit. Mechanical engineer,
Oh.
worked Imperial Oil Covering, project engineer and facilities manager. Here came as a from retirement bus driver for the Senior Council.
Okay.
The council had a bus at that time, which they lost to budget cuts from the county.
Right.
And stayed on as maintenance and gradually worked into the reception desk, a little bit of maintenance in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Master of none, the jack of all trades, right now.
That's about the size of it, yeah.
And so, how has your ability to stay, active and engaged in the community changed over the years versus when you retired to like now? So aside from, doing like, the work with the Senior Citizens Council, how has it changed to be able to stay actively engaged,
Enjoying contact with people, I think. The people that come and go, just being engaged.
Yeah. Do you think technology has played any kind of a role as long as also transportation? Well, I can see transportation because as you mentioned, you used to do the bus.
Right.
So that would involve, getting people to and from and
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, had a little bit of computer background, so that sort of fit.
Been easy for you.
Yeah, that sort of fit.
Okay.
Not that I do a whole lot of it, but
If you have to.
keeping rosters,
Right.
and, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. So why is it important for you to stay, active and engaged in the community as opposed to maybe, just kind of doing your own thing and just kind of being maybe an introvert, I guess you could say?
Well, not wanting to become a couch potato.
Couch potato.
Yeah, and staying home and working in the yard and that type of thing. So it's easier to get out and keep contact.
With people, right? Because it's good for your mental health as well, as
Right,
opposed to just the physical side of it. And so, aside from here at Senior Citizens Council, like, what other, if any, activities or programs or services do you participate in that help you to stay, both mentally and physically sharp?
Well, I do pickleball 3 times a week, 3 afternoons, which amounts to about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I bowl once a week in a senior league. I do ping pong once a week. And I do some walking and bike riding.
So you're full.
English country dancing.
Oh,
a couple
wow.
times a week, yeah.
So you're full. Your plate is full as far as being actively.
Activities, yeah. My partner, she's 10 years younger, and she's an active person.
Awesome.
That keeps me.
Keep up. Gotta keep up. And how did you learn about those? Was it just actually mainly through the Senior Citizens Council? Because that's where I think the nucleus of, a lot of knowledge about programs like this happen. Is that really where you learned about all the different things, aside from, like, of course, your love for outdoor activities?
I guess the Senior Council taught me most of it.
A lot of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because I was, as project engineer and facilities manager, I was more like stuck to an office. Didn't have as much outside contact as you get here with
Right.
people,
And so in your experience as being on the inside and looking out, what do you think the community can do to make life more accessible for your peers? For people that maybe don't know about this, what can the community do to, like, bring more people in and have them just get the knowledge of what's available?
I'm not really quite sure, except I don't know if the community knows as much as that they should about the senior people and the senior center, A lot of people don't know what goes on here.
Right, okay, so it's just the knowledge
Just the
of
knowledge
the programs
of
and
the
being able to
programs.
spread that, and
Right,
so
right.
in this age where maybe not everybody has TV, not everybody has or reads the newspaper, things like
Not
that.
everybody has a Wii program. There's a group of people that come in and bowl, and people come in for lunch, which gives them contact with other people.
And that's it. And it's all about meeting with each other and talking and sharing ideas. That's probably the main thing. Is
Sure.
just more word of mouth, I guess, right?
Right, right.
Okay. All right. So if you could do one thing or maybe a couple things that would positively impact the lives of older individuals in the community, what would it be? Like, what would you do to you know, positively impact other people's lives in the community that you're not already doing, or maybe that you could do more of?
Some new programs.
Some new programs like what?
Well, there's some people are looking for just conversation. They need somebody to talk to, you know, and you got to get that word out to them that there is contact here and people can talk.
You mean
Talk
come
about-
here and talk here?
Talk about current events, yeah. Just
Anything.
come in and talk to one another.
Just have a
Just have a
discussion.
conversation.
Alright. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ray. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and giving me your insights and opinions on the
Yeah.
different things going on today. We really appreciate everything you
Not
do
like
here.
I'm really real busy.
No, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Alright, you
Yeah,
take
okay.
care.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm here with Monsignor Aubin. Did I pronounce that right?
Correct.
All right.
Right
And
on.
I wanted to first off, I want to start off by thanking you for taking time out of your day to talk with me a little bit about, you know, aging in the community, you know, over the years and how you've been able to stay actively engaged. And if you wouldn't mind just telling, you know, some of our audience a little bit about yourself and, you know, how you started out and how you've been keeping on, you know, throughout the years.
Well, all right, I've been a priest already 64 years coming up this May, and I've been in Clinton County 62 years. Usually a priest goes around quite a few places, but I came to Clinton County and I've never moved when I came in 1957. And I retired finally at the age of 71 in the year 2000. So this year I just turned 90.
Wow.
And I thank God I'm pretty good health, other than a fall I recently had. I look kind of feeble, but otherwise I'm very, very well. And I enjoy very much the fact of being retired in a rectory, in a with a priest, because I see the activity of parish life, and I can help out. It makes me feel very satisfying that I can help the other priests, like the pastor, for example, is gone today, so I can replace him in some of the work, you know, like masses and other things. So to me, there's a perfect solution for retirement is to have a place, a job to do where you have no responsibility, but you can still work.
Yeah.
The best thing is when you get to be older, you've had a responsibility since I was ordained 1955, and that's a long time to have responsibility. But to have work is wonderful. Keeps you active, keeps you alert, and it's interesting. It's fun to see people. And I enjoy being here because I have the staff, and we have 4 of us here in the rectory.
Okay, and so what's your driving motivation each day? What's keeping you going, you know, every day when you get up? Is it the people? Is it just, you know, I don't know, like what is it that drives you to stay engaged and active with everybody?
Well, probably the answer to the question would be that when you're ordained a priest, you have a certain duty that you're going to be performing, and you get great satisfaction of that duty over the years, and then to retire and have no responsibility, no contact with people, would be terrible. It would be quite an adjustment, more than just simple retirement. You lose the whole purpose of existence, or you feel useless or not needed anymore. But when you retire like I did, and come here, I was offered this place. I didn't choose to come here, but the priest offered it to me when he heard I was seeking a place to live. And I would go quite well then, much better than I was only 71, so I was very active. And I said that could be helpful. The priest could do they did for their day off, and then every week, every Sunday, every weekend, I'm quite busy, just like a regular priest in duty. But as I said before, I don't have any responsibility. In other words, I don't have to do anything. I'm like a volunteer. They ask me, Father, would you do this, or are you available for this? I can say yes or no.
Right, yeah.
And that's what makes it very, very nice and relaxing. And I have a very good pastor, and I have another preacher with us who's a Filipino, and it's a nice little household
Well, that's
that I
decent.
enjoy.
That's decent. And so over the years, since before retirement, even into the retirement years, how have you seen, not only your ability to stay engaged and active in the community, but other people maybe whom you've come in contact with at the church? How have you seen that change over the years with, the change in technology, perhaps, the transportation that's available? I mean, have you seen any of that have an effect not only on yourself, but maybe other people whom you've come in contact with?
Well, I kind of hard to exactly to me by that, but because I have contact with people, probably the same as I did when I was first ordained a priest, and they are very receptive to the fact that I am here able to help, and they're always kind of amazed that I'm as healthy as I am. As the doctors tell me, don't tell people how old you are because you don't see your age, because I'm still able to. I get up in the morning, I know what day of the week it is, and so forth. So, and I continue that same work with people, but I see people who are my age who are very, very few that are very, really alert.
As you are, right? And
Well, I don't like to make a comparison with myself, but I mean, I feel sorry. So many people that I know that they can't get their thoughts out too clearly, and it's just because of their age. I'm slowing down somewhat. I mean, in memory, but not as probably as quickly as some.
Sure.
Put it that way. I'm very grateful for that.
And do you have any activities that you like to do to keep yourself, as sharp as you are mentally and then also physically outside or maybe on the side of the church? Like, do you do board games or do you, take frequent walks or do you have groups that you go in?
No, that I've never been a person who will be attached to like hobbies or because of different types of work. But I've always loved to walk extensively. And until I fell, I would walk every day at least 3-4 miles each day, and but just around the neighborhood. And I kept very active that way. And I love to travel. And a lot of traveling. Not recently, of course, but I traveled a lot, and I enjoyed that very, very much. Really with fellow priests and so forth. And I would went to Europe, 6 or 7 times. So.
Oh, wow.
And to South America and so forth. So that's what really, but I've never been a person that need like hobbies. I read a lot like that. I have my own place here, and I love to go to meet people. But as far as I never had a need to be, I'm not into to do anything to keep you occupied, like hobby-wise,
Okay, and so if you had one piece of advice, or maybe a couple pieces of advice for someone, that's not, quite, or that's aging, what piece of advice would you give them to help them maintain, or to stay sharp mentally and physically that you felt was something that you learned just from life experience?
Well, the best thing is because it's funny. I just recently I went into this with a person who is retired, and I encouraged her. I said, "You've got to stop staying home alone and just close the door and say, I can't get out." I always find an excuse why they can't go here, usually weather or their health. You're falling back into being kind of enclosed. It's much better to be open and go as fast as you can, not pushing yourself beyond your capacity, but go as fast as you can and dealing with people, going to meetings or going to out to even to movies or to dinners and all of that, just to don't make the house a place where you're just enclosed.
Right.
So many people, once they get retired, they simply close themselves in their house and they hate to go any place or see anybody, and that's disastrous. To me, I couldn't do that.
So socialization.
Yes, exactly.
Socialization and interaction with other individuals to help your mind.
Yeah, to their ability. People will get to be, sometimes physically many can't function too well, but they lame and get just like we all have and so forth. But if you can do it, get out and enjoy life, go to places, keep your friendships going that you had when you were active. If they're still around, keep friendly with them, keep on good terms with them.
Well, that's some valuable advice, and
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, taking the time today to sit with me and, give me your insights and all of that, about, your success as you've, gotten older with
Well,
the
I
community.
can just leave you with the thought that I'm very, very happy about retirement because it just fits my mode of doing things. I like to be with people, I enjoy people, I also like my privacy. I have my nice little apartment here,
Yeah.
and I enjoy that. But I like people to enter into my life, and I like to enter their life frequently.
Frequently.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Rob, and I really appreciate you taking the time today to speak with me.
Sean, very good.
All right, and you take care of yourself. You have a great day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here with Miss Vicki Jaffoy. And I want to thank you for taking the time to sit and talk with me today, and just kind of give your input and your insight onto aging in the community and how important it is and why it's important to stay actively engaged. And so, would you just like to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you, continue to stay active?
Sure. I just recently moved back home to my family because I had been away, and my mom has been going to the community center for quite some time. I'm just recently retired, so now I've joined the senior center and been exercising with her and get to meet all these wonderful people. And it's been really good. I feel so much better. My husband started to join as well.
Oh.
So we just try to get others involved and give out that information because not everybody's aware of how great this program is.
That's an important point, is that not a lot of people know, so really word of mouth is very important, so the networking aspect is important. So where did you retire from? What did you retire from?
I'm a nurse.
Oh, so the nurse
I
in the
worked
healthcare field.
42 years.
So you understand the importance of maintaining that health and activity.
And it's difficult to do when you're working full-time, so when you don't have the time to do it. So this way I can do this, and then I walk outside with my son and try, do activities with my brother and sister. They work in a wood in a shop, so we build furniture and stuff like that. So I try to do all kinds of different
So
things.
the whole smorgasbord,
It's
the
the
master
whole-
of none.
The whole family, get together but encourage activity. It's really
Okay,
important.
that's awesome. And so, what's like one of the few activities or main activities or programs or services in your community that allows you to be the most connected?
Well, this one is for right now for what I'm doing, but I also, I'm part of church, so I've been talking with people and telling them about this program and encouraging them to know what's available. 'Cause some people aren't really aware of what's here and the value of the community center down below and all the things that's offered for them. So we can get that information out to the people to know they have a place to go. They can come and have coffee, or they can come and play cards, or they can come and do whatever. And it's just wonderful to be part of a group.
Part of something and not
Especially
isolated.
if they're by themselves and don't know about it.
Absolutely. All right. And so, how has your ability to stay active, engaged, in the community changed over the year versus when you were working to now, since you've retired and had more free time for yourself? So, how has that ability to change?
Well, it's like great to be, like I said, to be part of this, and then to put yourself out there to other areas to assist others in need. So it's good to do that.
Awesome. And so, would you say, other than communication and knowledge of programs, like you had mentioned earlier, what else would you say that the community could do to make, life more accessible for, others in the community, such as yourself, that are retired and, are looking for things to do?
Whatever opportunities they could offer this exercise program, or if they had something where people could go just to walk for a short time in group of people, like in when the weather's warm or something, if they could get people together and just go for a walk and encourage that. So maybe that would be something else they could incorporate into the program.
Awesome. And so, if you could do one thing, okay, I know you mentioned that, let them know, but if you could do one thing that would positively impact, the lives of the older individuals in the community, what would it be? If you could do maybe one or maybe two things, I know it's hard.
Again, I think it's a lot of communicating because people really aren't aware. So if they can see that you've been part of it, you've had benefits from it, and just review it with, doctors, people in the community that are aware that they could offer this or have this for people.
Low to no cost, right?
Yeah,
Because
right.
that's important
That's
as
the
you get
key.
older
That's
too,
the
because the
key.
fixed income now comes into
Right,
place. So it's
right.
like, well, how much does it cost? That's always the question.
That's the big thing.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Vicki, so much for
Welcome.
taking the time to speak with me today, all right? I really
Have a great
appreciate
day.
it. You take care of yourself. All right.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here with Miss Judy Bishop, and I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. And if you wouldn't mind telling the people out there just a little bit about yourself, and you know, a little bit of your background, how you're staying active now and engaged in the community, that would be great.
I go to exercise. I come here to the senior center Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I have another class I go to on Fridays.
And what class is that?
At the town of Plattsburgh.
Okay. And what activities is it?
It's exercise.
Exercise.
Yeah, so it's 3 times a week.
Awesome, awesome. That's fantastic. And so, how is your ability to
Morning,
stay
Sean.
active? Good morning. How has your ability to stay active, engaged in your community changed over the years? So, as you've gone on, so now you're in these 3 programs, but like as opposed to the past, when maybe you were working and
No,
over
I
time.
wasn't working. I was just
No?
raising my family.
Oh.
5 children. So.
Oh, that's a job itself. That's working. I don't know who you were asking, but that's work for
So,
sure.
yeah.
So, how's the ability to stay, active since you've, since maybe your kids have grown up and gone on to do things? How has it changed in your ability to, become active in the programs that are available?
But it's helped me. Coming to exercise has helped me keep going, take care of myself, in my home, and my yard work.
Awesome.
And
That's,
a lot of gardening.
and so, why is it in gardening? You do gardening as well by yourself? Awesome, awesome. Do you do like vegetables?
Vegetables, a few.
Yeah.
And flowers.
Awesome. So it's getting that time of year. Have you
Yes,
started
it
yet?
is.
Have
No,
you started?
not yet.
Not yet. And so, why would you say it's important for you to, continue to be active with your exercise programs, as opposed to like, staying home and just doing your own little regimen of, around the house type stuff? Why?
It gets me out of the house and visiting friends, and just keeps me active to go to things I like to do.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, what can your community do to make life more accessible for not only yourself, but maybe your peers as well? Like, do you think maybe transportation is an issue, or maybe like the knowledge of the programs, the cost of the programs? What do you think?
Transportation is very important. I mean, buses and things, and minimal charge maybe,
Right.
and I can still drive, so that's important to me to be able to get out.
Awesome. And so, if you could do one thing, or maybe a couple things, that would positively impact, the lives of older individuals in the community, what would it be?
I don't know.
Not sure? Okay, that's fine. Well, I mean, is there anything else you'd like to add about, the programs that you're involved in currently right now that maybe the other people out there would like to know, or maybe
I just encourage people to come out and try exercise.
and that they will be included,
Yes.
and that you
yes,
will
definitely.
be included, and
Yeah.
don't let that, keep you
Don't stay
isolated.
home.
Don't
Right.
stay home. Just give it a shot. Break the ice one
Correct.
time. Give it one chance. Right?
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mrs. Bishop, for your time.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, and you have a great day. All
Okay,
right.
you too. Thanks.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Sean, and I'm here with
Cecilia
Cec-
Graves.
Cecilia Graves, and I want to thank you for taking the time to sit and talk with me today about what it's like for you to stay actively engaged in the community. So if you wouldn't mind just telling the people out there, a little bit about yourself and how you've been able to stay active and engaged in the community, to maintain your health and independence.
Well, I'm a transplant, so I moved to Plattsburgh about 2.5 years ago.
Oh,
And my son and his family asked me to come up here and get a little closer. He said, "Mom, you still got some good life left in you. Get up here, you're gonna love it." And I did. But one of my personality traits is I was rather an introvert. And so when I got up here, I had only my small family here, and I knew nobody else. And I was rather confused as to how to progress and find a new community for me.
right.
And a little light went on, and my first visit was to the senior center here in Plattsburgh. And these folks have been just wonderful. They have opened their arms to me. No one has ever made me feel like an outsider. And so I decided to take Tom Nagowski's class as a good place to start.
Right.
Because as I've aged, even though I am one of the younger people in our group, Arthritis has become a big factor in my life. I used to be very active, very athletic, active, and my whole life has changed. And coming to Tom's class, he's the most incredible instructor that we could have at our age, because he focuses so completely on movement. He says the slower the better. He focuses on joint movements. Every exercise he shows us, and we follow him. We try so hard to mirror him. He takes his time to explain why, when you put your foot out, you are tipping your ankle up and down. Why, as you're doing your hand and arm exercises, you're rotating your wrists in certain directions during the instruction. And since I met Tom in his class, I have also visited other classes in the area that are very wonderful classes in their own right.
Right.
But I carry Tom's attention to detail of movement, of body movement, with me to any other class I go to, because that focus just isn't as intense in those other classes. So that's how I started developing lovely relationships in this community, was through the senior center.
So that range of motion that he focuses on is going to allow you, as you progress, to really kind of stay active, and not only individually, but
and if I go without exercise for about a week, boy, I can tell when I get back here, it's like almost not completely starting all over again, but you haven't been taking care of yourself.
And so that was one of the things I was going to ask with the question of why it's important for you to stay actively involved in the community, and one of them is the physical part, right?
Oh,
so that way you're able, because you said arthritis was a little bit, but then I think also maybe the inclusivity, right? That you're not isolated by, although family's great, they are, but they have other things going on too, and I'm sure there's some independence in yourself that you'd like to do some things on your own. So that would probably be, is there anything other than the inclusivity and just doing that? It's just mainly the physical activity and the belonging, not necessarily belonging, but being a part of something.
I think in another life, I was a hermit.
Oh.
And it would be very, very easy for me to just hole up and stay in my little living area and not get out in the community very much. But of course, with all the research going on, we know how important it is to our mental health to get out and socialize. And this wonderful community of Plattsburgh, through the Senior Center, through the Office of the Aging, has helped me to be stimulated to get out and meet people, and don't stay home and just vegetate.
Right, which can be very easy to do, especially in the wintertime. Because the winters up here, as you've experienced probably over the last couple of years, they're a little brutal sometimes, unless you like to get out and snowshoe or ski, cross country, things like that.
Right.
Are there any other activities, because I know you're doing the physical activity classes here, are there anything like activities like pickleball or shuffleboard or bingo or any other type of activities that interest you right now at this time, where you're just kind of okay with this for now?
Nancy Olson introduced me to pickleball a couple Sundays ago, right here at the Senior Center, and that's a very interesting sport. As a younger person, I used to play tennis, serious tennis.
Yeah.
And pickleball is different rules, shorter racket, and it requires movements that I haven't done for years. And so that's a really wonderful sport, but I would have to be with a gentle group.
Right.
I also am a 46er, and I got re-involved with the 80K chapter here.
And what's a 46er? For the people that don't know.
In the Adirondack Mountains, there's 46 high peaks.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes one sets a goal in your life to climb the 46.
How far are you?
Oh, I've been a 46er.
You have? Oh, that's what you mean by a 46er.
I'm
You've
sorry.
done them all. No, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, back when I was in my 40s, I finished. So, but getting re-involved with this group, this chapter up here, has also gotten me out in nature again, because in my profession it was clinical laboratory, and it was, you were inside day after day after day. and I didn't have time to get back to nature the way one should, because mentally, again, it's incredible.
It all comes back.
Oh, it's just so peaceful out in the woods. So that also, and I've lost my train of thought.
That's all right. No, you definitely answered the question about just being out with nature and
Yeah.
part of that.
Yeah.
And so, with your experience of being a transplant, as you say, coming within the last 2 years, what do you think? What's one thing that you think would help people similar to your situation, or not even that are transplants like yourself, but are just kind of now wanting to get involved in the community again and just kind of get out there and be part of something that will benefit them, not only mentally but physically as well? What's one thing that you would recommend, that would help people a little bit more in that situation to get out there and make the dive?
And how do they know what's available? Okay, so a lot of it is through word of mouth. I don't buy the newspaper every day.
Right.
So, and I don't watch a lot of the local news. I think I should stay on top of things, but that is a key way of knowing what's going on in your community. So if we could somehow keep information going out and make it available to people, but I don't know how to suggest to do that.
And that's what I think is a common response too, is the word. How do we get it out there other than just verbally, but just not people that don't read the newspaper or watch a lot of the news? Like, how can we get that out there? How did you hear about the Senior Citizens Council when you first came up here?
How did I hear about this place?
If you could remember. If not, that's all right. I don't want to put you on the spot, but
I think I just stumbled on it.
Oh.
I probably, it could be like I had a tax question and came to the wrong building or something. It was that simple. And, but it was wonderful that I found these guys. Another way to reach out is, as the other folks have said, you're happy with it. If I'm happy with it, then word of mouth, of course, and make an effort. If I know somebody in my community that might be interested in this, let them know. And depending on their driving ability, offer to take them. If I know I'm coming over here today, somebody needs a ride, I might call up and say,
a ride share.
Yeah, hey Jane, you want to go with me today? Because not only does that help the person that perhaps is having an issue with driving, but it also forces me to get up and get out and don't decide, I
can miss it
really
today.
want to go today, I'll go a couple days from now.
Right.
So, but that would be my way of trying to reach out to the community. Make yourself available, because you're going there anyway. Take a buddy with you.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and your insight on this is very much appreciated. I know everybody out there appreciates, what you've said today, and I'm sure that there's going to be some people that can definitely relate. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you for your time.
And I really appreciate you. You have a great day, okay?
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Recording.
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm here with Mr. Tom Nagowski, the famous Mr. Tom Nagowski, as you may have noticed from the other interviews. And I want to thank you for taking the time to, sit and speak with me today. I really appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind, just taking some time just to talk a little bit about yourself. I understand you're a veteran. I saw your hat and all of that. So, and that you're the instructor that everybody, appreciates to the fullest. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of talking a little bit more about yourself and how you've been able to stay active and in such great shape and just be connected with the community over the years.
Because I see Rachel every day. No. No, well, I'm a transplanter. I came here with the Air Force.
Okay.
I come in out of the Far East, and my wife was employed at the base, and I met her there. She was General Sanborn's secretary. And when I got here in the late 50s, we hung up and we got married, and then we left. And in the service, I was a counterintelligence special agent. And in Vietnam, I was special ops, working in Vietnam. Come back here, retired, and decided we were going to make a home here because I'm originally from Buffalo.
Oh.
And so my kids and everything grew up here, which was great, although they were all over the world, Germany and
Right.
back here.
Right.
And all over the United States, and they come back here and they found a home here, which was really, really great. And we appreciate the area, good bunch of people. And after I retired from the Air Force, I went to work for DOD, doing the same job as a special agent with Special Agent with Defense Investigative Service. And then I subsequently retired, and I've been retired since 1988.
Okay.
And I've been doing the exercise program for probably about close to 20 years.
Really?
Leading this group, not so much here. We started out over at Long Apartments,
Okay. Yep.
and we went from there to the Senior Center on Elm Street. And then from there we went to the VFW, and we outgrew every one of those places. And then Brother Raymond, who was here with the proctor for MAI, told us that we could utilize the gym, and he was one of our students in the class. And so we moved over here to MAI, and ever since, we've been here ever since. And we love it over here. They take care of us at the Senior Center. And we've grown exponentially. We started out with 7 people in the class, and if everybody showed up at the same time, we probably have 90 people in this class. And we have probably 15 or 20 that are still snowbirds that are still coming back.
Yep. Yep.
And to give you an example, like today, we had about 45 people in the class
Nice.
today. And these people are really motivated to exercise. And when I tell you how motivated they are, when we get temperatures that are 15 to 20 degrees below zero, we still have 40 people show up to exercise. And I like to tell them when they start this class, there's 3 things that'll happen. First, you'll have a smile on your face. Number 2, there'll be a spring in your step. And number 3, you'll be 3 inches taller. And the big thing about this exercise program is that we deal with a well-rounded basis for all the participants. Number 1, we do the mental, we do the social, and we do the physical. Each one of those are all intertwined, and they are very, very important. And these people really enjoy it, and like I say, when it's 15, 20 below zero, we get 45 people show up for class, which is a testimony to themselves.
Exactly.
And the other thing too, in order to exercise and to have a good, successful program, it's got to take motivation. And if you're not motivated, you're not going to do it. I don't care who you are.
Right.
And the other thing is, I hear a lot of these people say, well, I can't do that because I've never exercised in a program before. And I said, look, you've spent all your life doing for somebody else. If you can't take an hour 3 times a week or twice a week to give an hour to yourself, then there's something wrong with you. Because I don't care how much money you got or how many kids you got or what else. If you don't have your health, you don't have nothing.
Absolutely.
And therefore, it behooves you to get up off that couch and get out and start working out. And we don't believe in no pain, no gain. We get people going at a slow nature, and they work at their own pace. We just we're here to instruct them on how to do it.
Always improve.
We tell them how to do it, what the posture is, how the rate is, and everything that's in the breath, the control, and the posture are 3 very, very important elements of all the exercise programs. And these people have taken to it just like ducks to water. They have a good time and they enjoy it. And to show you about the camaraderie that they have when they leave here after exercise class, a good number of them go over to McDonald's on Route 9 and they socialize even more. And I said, you've been together for an hour over there in that exercise class? You haven't had enough of each other? But they thoroughly enjoy it. And it's a good program, and the benefits far, far outweigh the time and effort that they put into it. And in fact, 90% of the time when they're exercising, they don't even realize because they're into it.
Right.
And they thoroughly enjoy it, and I thoroughly enjoy doing it, because I figure this way, I get twice as much benefit from doing it than they receive, because it makes sure that I have to present myself in the proper posture, and the proper breath, and the proper control to make sure that they get the proper instruction.
That's interesting, definitely interesting. And so my question to you then after that is, what motivates you? Because you're motivating these other people, and you did say, it holds you to a standard to do the exercise and do it properly, but what motivates you to stay active, outside of this exercise program, and just individually to maintain, your health, both mentally and physically?
Like I said, the big thing is, if you don't have your health, and regardless of what else you have, it's worthless. If you don't have your health. And being in the military, the job that I did in the military, plus with special ops, and I was always active in all kinds of sports. So it shows, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, because I don't divulge that information. But let's just say I'm well above 80.
Okay.
But I do my exercise, and I do it diligently, because if you don't do exercise proper, then you're hurting yourself. You're working the wrong muscles. And you can do more damage than you're doing good. And our program here is geared to strong bones. And I'd like to take that one step further, not only strong bones, but I'd like to have a full-rounded exercise program where we work from the bottom of your feet to the tops of your heads. The only thing we don't work is split ends in your hair. But I'll tell you, what you want to do is you want to have all the muscles, because you want to have the ability to have good balance. And if you don't have strong bones, you don't have good balance. If you don't have good posture, you don't have good balance. If you don't have strong core, you don't have good balance. And every one of those are interrelated. And the more you're into this, and like I say, 90% of the time you don't even realize what you're doing, but you're just following along, and you're doing it, and you're getting the benefit, which is really good. And like I say, the true testament of any program is the motivation of the people that are coming here. And it's when it's 10 to 20 below zero, when you get 45 people coming out here to do an exercise program, it's beneficial.
Absolutely.
It's working.
So after all that, if you could change or do one thing, or maybe a couple things that would positively impact the lives of the older individuals in the community, what would it be from your perspective over your years in this program?
I'd like to have it 3 times a week instead of twice a week.
More.
Because I think every other day is that one extra hour is worth it. And and like I said before, these people have been telling me, oh, I can't exercise because I'm so busy doing this, that, the other thing. I said, look, half of your life you've been doing for somebody else. If you can't take the time to do 1 hour for yourself, then there's something wrong.
Right.
So you need it. Physical outlook is the best thing in the world. The more physically fit you are, the better you are mentally, and the better you are socially.
Yeah.
And and especially with resistance training, because all of the studies show now, when you're working with weights, I don't care what size weights they are, from 1 pound to 50 pounds, it shows that it's good for cognition, it's good for the mental.
The muscle memory.
Absolutely, it's very, very good. It's essential anymore, and it's really a worthwhile program. And the big thing is, these people come saying, how much is it? Well, it's free. We provide everything. We provide the instructors, we provide the weights, we provide the location, and the only thing you gotta do is provide the time and do your work.
Just show up.
That's it. If I would do anything better, that's the only thing I do, is have 3 times a week instead of 2.
Right, because I think I see that. So from the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's 4 days now where you've.
Yeah, so I would do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class is how I would run it, and then because you gotta have 24 hours in between to recover.
Sure.
Now, and I'll tell you another thing too. We talk about this class and what people can do. I've got people in this class who are 97 years old. I'm serious. And I have probably about 15 people in this class that are over 90, and they're still working out.
They're still doing work.
Absolutely. They don't do everything, because we don't believe in no pain, no gain. That's the worst thing you can ever do.
Right,
but I tell you what, if they can't do the exercise, they smile a lot. And it makes you feel good. And some of them have smiles from ear to ear. I mean, it's like eating watermelon. But it's really a good time.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and taking the time out of your day to just sit and, give your insight on this.
It's my pleasure. And the one thing I want to say, when you see Greg Olson, I used to be with the Governor's Advisory Committee for the Office of the Aging. I used to go down to Albany when Bob Burgess, Greg was the acting, no, he was the Undersecretary of Office of the Aging at the time. Mike Burgess was the acting. And Greg is one of the sharpest guys that you want for the Office of the Aging. He's behind you people 100%. And you tell him Tom said that if you don't get off this butt and give us more money up here, we're going after him.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate you. So I'm here today with the Thursday Knitting Group. My name is Sean, and I want to thank everybody for taking the time to speak with me today. And so if you wouldn't mind just going around the room and just introducing yourself, and maybe telling a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing this, and how it benefits you and things of that nature. So go ahead, sir, if you want to start.
Start there.
Start there. All right.
Okay, then I'll go.
All right.
My name is Richard Gay. I live in Champlain. I joined this group about 3 years ago, and I've been knitting for about 5 years. And I enjoy it. It's engaging, and it challenges my mind, because I create when I do shawls and things like that, they're all my patterns. Very little it's basically fun.
Fun, right?
And if I don't like it, I tear it apart and restart something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
I call it play.
Yeah.
I love it. I call it play.
And
My
Jack-
name is Celia Strebent, and I've been knitting for, oh Lord, I don't know, 30, 40 years, something like that. And I joined this group 3 years ago, I think, and I knit because I like colors and I like textures.
Fantastic.
Hi, Kathy Lacrosse. I've been knitting for over 50 years, I guess. My grandmother taught me when I was about 8. And I just love it, and it's something I can do and watch TV and not feel like I'm wasting time watching TV.
I'm Lisa Gay, Richard's wife, and I've been knitting for, I would say, over 40 years. And I joined this group because my husband found out about it and said, "When did you come down?"
Yeah, I was there before, and he didn't want to get up early in the morning. And she corrupted me, she started me knitting.
My name's Judy Kelly and I live in Keysville. I've been knitting for probably 50 years. I also love to card wool and spin, so I make some of my own yarn to knit with. And I love knitting socks. They're warm in the winter.
Can never have too many socks.
No,
you know?
you
Can never have
cannot,
too many
right.
socks.
Actually, you can.
Yeah.
Maybe a little, huh?
Yeah.
And my name is Jerry Rossignol, and I joined the knitting club because I like to make socks. But actually, crochet is my love, my first love. And I just call it play. Keep me busy. And I enjoy it. The people are nice, and we have a lot of fun. Come and join, and
Yeah.
And that's the most important part, right? That you enjoy it and that it's inclusive and that it just, you know, not only helps pass time, but it keeps you active both mentally and keeps those fingers on point, right?
Yeah.
With the,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm seeing all
we
that.
enjoy it. We love it.
It's a little
Yeah,
intimidating.
We have a good time.
The other thing that we enjoy doing is if somebody comes and doesn't know how to knit, we're more than willing to teach. And we have materials here and tools, and just come and see if you like it. And then if you do, we can help you collect things.
It's a good social group,
Yeah.
very much so.
And that's important too, right? As you get older, just, you know, to keep mentally stimulated and not be
Definitely.
isolated and just, you know, be
And
with
my
people.
husband here, Phil, he comes and joins the girls, and we enjoy him. He enjoys it.
I don't knit, but I do word search.
I noticed that.
That keeps my mind clear.
Right, keep you sharp.
Right. But mainly I make sure that she gets down here. Because I'm the driver.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I enjoy this group very, very much. I look forward to it just as much as they do.
And how did everybody hear about this? Like, what was like? Because I know nowadays it's like word of mouth. You don't see a lot of things advertised on TV or like, hey, come on down, try this. How did everybody hear about this group?
There used to
friend.
be a
I think
yarn
friend,
store
yeah.
in Plattsburgh, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I heard of this through the yarn store.
I just saw, I was walking by one day to go to the other room for some volunteer thing, and I saw people sitting in here knitting, and I'm like, what are you doing? So they invited me in, and I've been for about 5 years, so.
How do I get involved? That's right.
I
Yeah.
saw the newspaper, that,
Senior center.
yeah,
Yep.
Senior Center newspaper, and it said that there was a knitting group, and I love to knit, so I just came down, and it's a beautiful, open, accepting group.
That's
They're
awesome.
good people here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so, how would you say that your ability, like, has time since, you know, from, you know, maybe when you were working, and I don't know, maybe some of you are still working part-time, so I don't want to jump to that conclusion, but how has your ability to stay active and engaged in the community changed over the years? Like, as far as with the advancement in technology and just knowing about things and being able to get to those things, how has that changed, would you say? And anybody can take this one.
That's a hard question.
I just become engaged either when I'm asked to, because I'm a pianist, and so, you know, occasionally I get asked to play. So, but aside from that, I just become engaged when I want to become engaged. And of course, you know, with the computer today, it's so easy to keep in touch with people, even if you know you don't see them. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, really, but,
I always say I cyber stalk my grandchildren. You know, you can find out what they're up to and what's going on. I think computers have made good and bad, but certainly you can be more aware of what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. And so is everybody technologically savvy for the most part, using Facebook and all that, or some people are like, no, I'm okay with
I'm
I don't use
okay.
Facebook.
no,
I'm
right?
not computer literate, I just enjoy coming and joining the group, and
Absolutely.
we just pass.
I always thought I was technologically savvy, but I can't use my new phone.
And so have you heard of the Senior Planet? Have you been up there at all, registered for any classes? Those are free, and I didn't know they do
Yeah,
it.
no, my husband's gonna show me. I just, you know,
One of these
I look
days.
at the phone and it says, I dare you.
Push the wrong button.
Yeah.
And so, are there any other activities in the community other than this? I know this class, or not this class, but this activity here is very important. But are there any other activities in this community that allow you to be, you know, connected and involved and engaged, other than this one that you find is very good for your mental and your physical well-being?
I substitute teach.
Oh.
So,
I volunteer in a thrift store,
Oh, which one?
Rescue Treasures.
Yes, Rescue Treasures. Yeah, my mom used to do that too.
I'm very active in my church,
Okay.
and we do a lot of outreach into the community.
All right. So we have church, the volunteering.
I'm a veteran and I'm very active with the American Legions.
Awesome. So that keeps you busy.
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah. All right.
We're at the other end of the spectrum, we're like hermits and we're like homebodies.
Yeah.
This is your getting out and being active and engaged, right?
Plus our daughter in Plattsburgh, we help her out as much as possible too.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is the retired and senior volunteer program that I'm a volunteer with that.
Oh, RSVP with
Yes.
Kate Gardner and all
Yes,
that. Yeah.
'cause they can find you any type of volunteer work that you want to do. So.
Oh, awesome.
And
And,
we-
and so, what would you say? What could this community do to make life more accessible for not only yourself but maybe for your peers as well, or people you know who might be able to benefit from some things that maybe you don't find the same interest in, but you know about?
get the footbridge fixed.
See, you're
The
ready.
footbridge right here by PHS.
Yes.
That one right there.
Yes, that's a horrible.
School district is gonna do it. in
Yeah, well then,
city.
what they should do is charge the city rent for using it as a bicycle path. I'm serious, you know, the city refuses to contribute, wow.
And there were talks of even them destroying that, right?
I
And
know,
just
but-
getting rid of it, which would be, yeah.
The school has
Terrible.
gotten endowments, I guess. I don't know how much they're gonna have to throw in themselves, but that's terrible.
They've got some from the state and they've got some from the county.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's improving maybe the public
Access.
access. The public
Yes.
access is really what it comes at for the local
Yes.
residents and all
And
of that.
here's something too, and this has been on the top of my list for a long time. On the bicycle trails, people walk, that's fine. They should walk without headphones. They should not be allowed to have headphones, because you're on a bike and you say, behind you.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I know in Minnesota they have bike trails, and it's the only place I know of that big signs all over the place, no headphones.
That actually makes a lot of sense, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can probably manage with like one earbud.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, one
Yeah,
earbud as
that's
well.
true.
One earbud would definitely,
Yeah.
work with that. And so, if you guys could do one thing or maybe two things that would positively impact the lives of older individuals in the community, what would it be? Like if you could do one thing that, from your experience of,
Oh boy.
and it can be more than one thing. Maybe
Have them volunteer more.
more volunteers.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely more volunteers.
That's a big problem.
And so that brings me to another thing. What about the inclusivity? Do you guys, I know this is a small group here and that you kind of found your way in here, but what about, do you think maybe inclusivity is kind of a thing too with maybe like there being like the thoughts, well, I don't want to join because I don't know anybody and I don't want to be an outcast. I want to be included. Like, do you think that has
I tell people about this group anytime I see somebody knitting or crocheting. I tell them immediately, and the group doesn't grow.
but you're telling people and that's
Yeah.
important.
We're
And so,
telling people and
I tell people.
They're bashful.
Well, I go to Michael's or something like that in Plattsburgh, and I talk to crocheters and knitters,
Yeah.
and I said, do you crochet or knitter? I didn't, and I look, you know, by looking at them, I said, are you employed or senior citizen? Do you want to learn? We have groups here for knitting, for crocheting, even for quilting. And we set it up, and when you talk to a knitter or crocheter or any craft artist, if we have a community there, it's a common tie. And I never met a bad
Right.
craft person.
No, that's true, that's true.
We have people who come and stay for 6 months or a year, and I've been out for a while, and, you know, I knew when I was ready to come back, it would be here for me, I could come back.
Yeah.
So, and we've had many different kinds of people. The group has not always been just this, it's grown and it's shrunk and it's grown and it's shrunk and so, yeah. I think we include people.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly,
yeah.
certainly,
Get
when they
along
come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder,
Social.
I don't think Michael's would allow us to put a sign up. I'm pretty sure they will.
But I mean, the senior sentinel's out all the time.
Yeah, that's
I go to
true,
a lot of
that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I think that is one, well, that's how I found out.
We'll sneak it in, put it in the yard area.
No, they actually, I guess the head hunters at, in the offices somewhere, in, you know, in the United States, in Michael's, they actually will tell their employees where to put the yarn. A certain color yarn goes here, a certain color yarn goes there. So they're like really, really, really control oriented.
Yeah.
Now, do you also accept like younger? Let's say there's a younger individual in the community. Would they be welcome here
Sure.
as well? So any
Anybody.
age, anybody.
Yeah.
We take, when they have interns,
Yeah, we've got
when they have interns here from the college, they always join our group just for the
Well, we-
experience
Had
of it.
'em.
Yeah.
Some of them have joined anyway.
Yeah, and some of them have learned to knit, yep,
And some of them didn't stay.
yeah. But no, we love
Yeah, you don't
having
have to be a
young
senior
people.
to do
No.
that.
Well, that's good to know because I didn't know that personally. I didn't know that. I knew of this group, but I wasn't really sure how it worked. But I mean, you can definitely bet that I'll put the word out because I do know some knitters
You
who
can
are.
join.
I can join. You know, that's not a bad idea because but I'm really the basic. I have no idea. I know
That's all right.
no idea, and I think
We've
we.
had plenty like that.
We'll get you addicted.
All right. And is this the only day, or do you guys meet outside of this place in another location, or is it only this day at this time
Right here.
For this
each
group.
Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We had a young group of girls one time here, not too long ago. They come here and asked for a favor from us to make hats for homeless people during the winter months, and we did, and it turned out good.
That's
We make them, they picked them up, they brought them down, and they were put out. The homeless got them.
that's really important because that's another issue for another day. Is
Hats
the
and scarves.
yeah.
Hats and scarves.
Yeah. Well, this is very, very interesting. I thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today.
This
And
young lady here, she used to come to our group here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I told Sean too that this coming year, I'm going to make
She
sure
had-
that
she
I
was
do
here one
come
year.
here and do my schedule, because being at the Office for the Aging, he knows my schedule changes according to what needs to happen. But Thursdays are gonna be important. I forget, 9:30 to 11:30.
11, whenever.
But you can come late and
Well,
early if you
yeah,
want.
that's
I
right.
still want to
Yeah, anytime.
be here. I feel, I pass here and I feel this guilt.
No.
No, because I've forgotten how to knit, you know, I look at my knitting stuff.
It's
and
a
I
healthy
think,
group.
oh my God. Yeah, I remember Vermont, I remember all the things that we did.
And we have a list of all the people that joined over the years. I think Patty or Rachel has
Rachel
a list
has
Well,
of that.
Rachel says it's her knitting group, she said.
Yeah.
My knitting.
yeah, she says my
Yeah.
knitters.
It's my knitters.
So too, if you lose track of people, you just look at your list and you can call Judy or you can call Lisa or any one of the girls. It's the name
We
and
keep
number
in
is right on
contact.
right on the paper.
And how do the supplies work? Do we all just kind of pitch in and
Yeah,
get
we
the
all
supplies
have
that?
Well,
or do you all bring your own?
Bring our own.
we
Well,
usually
this was
bring
a
our own,
bonus.
but sometimes
We pass it on.
People donate yarn and,
Perhaps
Yeah.
someone in the family
Yeah.
has.
We've had times
no
where
longer
somebody
knows
passed
or
away,
passed
Right.
away.
and someone in the family brings all that material that that person had and donates it here.
Which is much better than the landfill.
And when I first
we use it.
started,
Yes.
Yeah, we enjoy
they
it.
gave me stuff. I came in and I said, I don't know anything. And
We'll set 'em up.
Set me up with things.
Oh, yeah.
And told me what kind of needles to get and what kind of stuff.
We have girls here that are very good knitters, like
Talented.
Judy and Lisa and Seal and Kathy.
And you?
No, I just like,
Aw.
we all do our own thing and we enjoy it.
Yeah, we all have our own talents.
Yeah.
Do we have any finished products in here that?
You like to see?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Show some socks there.
Some socks, anything.
I made bunny pins. These are crochet, but there's a bunny pin.
Show that one right there.
Oh, Margaret has
Oh.
one.
Yes, I gave her one.
Oh, Margaret has
Gave me
one?
one, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'll put
okay.
it on my sweater.
And then you have the. I've got the bunny pin, and then we have
The shawl.
a shawl. Wow. How long did that take you?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
It's a slow
Heavy
process.
That doesn't seem like that long. That's I'm like that's amazing.
Look at the socks that Judy made.
Wow. Oh, those have all kinds of color schemes now. Is that all different thread, or did it come like?
This is, they're now, we're dyeing thread that you can get the neatest colors and.
Yeah, like this here too.
Yeah. There's
These are
another
socks
pair
that I made here too, that I learned how to do. I joined the group because I wanted to make socks. And I love making socks, but I love making doilies also. So I combine my time here. I love it.
And she has crocheted out of that weight crochet thread, christening garments for all of her grandchildren.
Oh, yeah, this
Yep.
here, a beautiful christening outfit. Oh, my, and since I made 3 of them so far.
Oh my gosh,
They're
they're
priceless.
astounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heirloom quality.
And I'm in the
Heirloom.
process of making another one right now. It takes
I'll
time, but it's so much fun. I love it.
We have a future great-grandson on order right now.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for taking the time, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate your time. And again, this will be shown at the senior celebration, May 3rd, upstairs. There'll just be in a little booth there. So make sure you come by and check it out. A lot of different programs and resources. And I'll definitely be sure to spread the word about this group.
Sean,
Thank you.
why don't you go to
Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here with Regina. And Regina, if you wouldn't mind, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself and everybody that's watching?
Okay, I've been married for 53 years. I have 3 children. I have 1 granddaughter, and I have 2 great-grandsons. And I love them all.
Oh, awesome. And how are you affiliated with the community? How do people mostly know you?
They know me as Jeannie.
Yeah?
And
Are you involved with like the home delivered meals and all that? Is that correct?
yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I delivered the meals for 25 years.
And how long have you been doing that? 25 you said?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
25.
fantastic, fantastic. No signs of slowing down, right?
No, not unless I have to.
Right, okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time to sit and talk with me right now. And, I would just like to get your thoughts and opinions about aging in your community and the ability to stay connected with the programs and services as they've evolved over the years. So I guess the first question that I have for you is, how has your ability to stay active and engaged in the community changed over the years?
Okay.
Since you first started.
Since I first started, I've had 2 hips replaced, and I broke a leg. But I was strong enough to come right back and do my meals. And it's my clients that really made me
So the support of your clients.
Yes,
That's
that
awesome.
had me come back, and I love it. I love my job.
That's awesome.
I love the people.
Fantastic. And so why would you say it's important for you to stay actively involved in your community? Like, what drives you? Why is it important for you to stay with this program, with the home delivered meals, as opposed to, just going and doing your own thing,
It's not just like going and doing my own thing. It's like I have so many of my clients that care about me, and when I go to their places, they want me to stay. I give them all a few minutes. They have things they have to tell me. I'm there for them to listen, and
So it's a mutually beneficial thing. It's really a lot of emotional support. That
yeah,
you get to see them every day, and
it's like when I was laid up, they even called me. I even had some come and see me, and they really care about me.
That's fantastic.
And say there's time, of course, with the weather. If I don't get there right on time, they think something's happened, so they go and call me, my boss, and make sure
everything's all right.
Right.
Everything's all right. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what other activities aside from the home delivered meals? Are there any other activities or programs that allow you to be, remain connected with the individuals in the community, or is it just mainly the home delivered meals? Is there any like physical programs that you like to do, or what is it that really connects you other than the transportation, or is it just the transportation program or the Meals on Wheels? I'm sorry.
Well, it's mostly just the Meals on Wheels. I'm very active. I ride four-wheeler.
Oh.
And that's what I'm very active.
So right now in this time of year, you're getting ready,
I'm
gearing
getting
up.
ready to ride for it.
And do you ride by yourself?
No, my husband goes, and my daughter and my son.
Okay.
And we all have one.
You all have your own?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we have like 300 and some acres.
Oh.
So we have a lot of place to ride.
That's awesome. No snowmobiles though, just the four-wheelers?
Just the four-wheelers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's...
Yeah, I'm for all the things I've had wrong, I'm very active.
Very active. That's awesome. That's awesome. So for other people, and also yourself, what do you think, what can be added to the community, or what other, things or programs or services do you think could be added to make life more accessible for, not only yourself but your peers in the community? What do you think can be done to improve the accessibility, if you could think of anything?
Yeah, it's like, doing this program, I found two of my clients dead, and one was in his bed and one was in his vehicle. But I always make sure that everybody's all right when I do go, and if I don't see someone, I call my boss and tell her, and then they check on them. So really, I think I'm doing just about everything there is, to take care of them.
Yeah, and so how do you think people's ability to know, or how people's knowledge of the programs such as the Meals on Wheels and maybe, like the nutrition sites, do you think how would you think that, do you think that information could be spread any better, or would there be any other ways that you think we could get this information out to people in the community so they know what's available to them? Or, does anything come to mind, or do you think it's kind of just a word of mouth thing that, we just got to keep, as a community talking to each other?
Yeah, I think so, because I can't really think, what else?
Oh, right.
I think I'm doing my best.
Awesome. I think you're doing, very well, absolutely, for sure. So, if there was one thing that you could do that would positively impact the lives of older individuals in this community, other than what you're doing now by connecting them with the meals, what do you think that would be? If there was one other thing you could do besides helping them with these meals, what would it be that would help these individuals?
I guess go to their place and help them.
Oh, be able to physically help them do things around their house and things like that?
Stuff like that.
Okay, so maybe more resources available that people can go in, like volunteers or low income, low cost things to help them just maintain their independence. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to add about this, and about your journey so far, and the last 25 years, which is absolutely amazing. You're in really great shape, and hopefully you have many more to come.
Yeah, I'll keep going as long as I can, and I just love what I'm doing.
All right.
The people really, they make my day too.
Oh, that's very awesome. Thank you. And thank you very much, Jeannie. Can I call you Jeannie?
Yeah.
For your time, your insight into this whole, aging in the community topic has been very, very appreciated. So I thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care. All right. Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here with Jim.
Knapp.
Jim Knapp, and I want to thank you for taking the time to sit and talk with me. And if you would, just introduce yourself a little bit further and how you're involved within the community and how you're staying active.
Right. I'm staying very active. I live right here in the Senior Citizen Center, apartment 202, and they did a beautiful job of converting to schoolrooms. This was formerly MAI. And they converted schoolrooms to senior citizens apartments, and I live in one of them.
And the little Resnick's...
Right, and a lady that you're going to hear from, Lillian Resnick, was a teacher, and her schoolroom is where I live.
Oh, wow.
It's been converted over into a nice apartment. I live with my wife, Rhoda, and we are members here, lifetime members of the Senior Citizen Center. And we stay active. Rhoda on Wednesdays is volunteering at Birthright, and on Mondays she's down in the Senior Citizen Center doing crocheting.
Oh.
Tuesdays and Thursdays we are here for the exercise class run by former Lieutenant Commander, retired Air Force, Tom Nagowski. And he's one of the individuals that is 7 top over 70 men from Plattsburgh that have been interviewed before. I stay active, and I can personally attest to the value of this exercise class. I want to promote it. People need it. As you age, you never know that I was 81 years old.
And so why is
but
it?
As you age, you need to protect your body and build it up. And one of the ways you can do that is when you have proper exercise.
So that answered my question of why it's important for you to stay actively involved in such a lot of those programs.
Physically, it's absolutely necessary. One of the things that we learn in this class, believe it or not, is how to even fall on the ice. People are going to fall on the ice, but preventing falling on the ice is a matter of your balance. All of our exercises are designed to improve your balance. Your muscles, all of the muscles of your body are treated. And I would greatly recommend this class for anyone of age.
Well, that's some great insight. I really appreciate that. So I guess one question I have for you is if you could do one thing that would positively impact the lives of older individuals in your community, what would it be? If you could do one thing.
I would want to do something that would show that despite your age, you can be active and you can be effective. I want to be an umpire. And to be an umpire, I have to be physically prepared.
Yeah.
I had some serious seizures a couple of years ago, and it took me out of umpiring temporarily. That has been resolved with my medication, and I'm looking forward to possibly next year returning with doctor's clearance to umpiring.
Well, we look forward to seeing you.
That helps.
Out there.
That helps the youth, and it also keeps you active.
Absolutely, because you have the experience.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, Mr. Knapp. Really appreciate
My
it.
pleasure.
All right, you take care of yourself. All right. Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm here with Miss Lillian Resnick. And I want to thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with me. And if you wouldn't mind, just telling the people, what it is you do to stay active in the community and kind of a little bit of your history, if you wouldn't mind, that would be fantastic.
Well, that's quite a question. To summarize, I'm trying to be very active mentally and physically. And so I have my physical exercises that I do at the Y and at the Senior Center. So it's exercise in the pool and exercise in the gym with Tom Nagowski, who's a wonderful teacher, one of my good example of what a teacher should do. And then other than that, I play Scrabble and Bridge, and just try to make every day meaningful, because I'm retired now.
Okay, and so how has your ability to stay active and engaged in the community changed over the years? Like, you know, with the advance of like technology and, you know, the ability to get to transportation and things like that. How has your ability to stay active and engaged changed, if any?
Well, I don't know. The biggest thing was that I retired from teaching, and so that over 20 years ago. So that gave me the time to recreate and do all the things that I enjoy doing. Socializing is very important, especially if your family doesn't live close by. So you have an extended family, and one could be active in one's religious institution, for example, and continue volunteering. I do teach a little Hebrew to some students at our synagogue. And other than that, we got a dog, and she's a Jack Russell Terrier Beagle, and she certainly keeps me active and engaged and very happy. And then, of course, there's always my dear husband.
Oh, yes. And so, what do you think the community can do to make life more accessible for not only yourself but also your peers?
Well, basically to make everyone feel welcome, and to make activities affordable, so that money is not an issue for people, and that they feel welcome to do any kind of activities that they want to do, so that they have a meaningful life.
And so, if you could do one thing, you know, that would positively impact, you know, the lives of other individuals in your community, what would it be? Like, if you could do one thing.
Well, I don't know if I could really answer that question to zero in on one thing. I just try to be kind and considerate and
inclusive.
And yes, and very inclusive, and accept everybody, and always try to find the positive in other people, and just strive to be happy.
Oh, I think that's very good. All right, well, thank you so much for taking your time to, you know, sit and speak with me. And again, yeah, this will be shown, you know, at the